What you see here is not just any ordinary brain. It's a specific electrical circuit, but it's not any ordinary electrical circuit. It's the electrical circuit of your mind. But if you've noticed, in this spaghetti of circuits, there's no connection to a plug point. Why? Because your mind is infinite. It's a constantly buzzing circuit that electrifies each and any one who touches it. It's called, non-metaphorically speaking, the power of creative thinking. I'm sure each and every one of you wants to talk about something that really matters to you, something that's extremely important. When I was young, I'd stand in front of a mirror since the age of 8 and pretend I'm giving a TED talk on something that's exceptionally important, and I had a standing ovation. So when I did find out about this speech, I was ecstatic. I was ecstatic about this opportunity, but like every other speaker, I had no idea what to speak about. So I began doing my research, and I realized that there are so many problems in our world today. We have talks and conferences about issues related to mental health, world issues, issues related to global politics, that I decided I'd encompass each and everything into my speech. How can I encompass each and every aspect into my solution that I give to you? How can each and every one of you be a part of my solution? And how can you make a difference in your society with the solution that I give to you? And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where your spaghetti of circuits comes in. This is the fuel to an incredibly bright and powerful fire that can burn down any obstacle that comes in your way. All you need to know is how to use your mind. And in order to know how to use your mind, you must understand the importance and the value it has. In the 7th century, a man named Brahmagupta was a mathematician who used algebra in equations and documented this. Inspired by his documentations, a Persian mathematician named Al-Khwarizmi developed algebra as an individual discipline. Fast forward to the 18th century, where we had innovators and scientists that used this algebra as the basis for their technological innovations that triggered the Industrial Revolution. And today, we live in the era of discoveries and innovations by people such as Bill Gates and Steve Jobs. The development of algebra led to the basis of the creation of a computer that led to the development of social media that we all give very big importance to in our lives today. This is just one of those examples of how a chain of discoveries, as a result of creativity driven by passion and commitment, grew. Have you ever had an inner drive to do something that you are extremely passionate about? It could be anything. You could potentially combine 5 different passions into one single occupation. All you need to know is you have to try understanding the capability that your mind has. What I'm about to show you right now is a few images of who I like to call the creative revolutionaries, or my inspirations. If you recognize this man, this is the protagonist from the film V for Vendetta. The film is based on a comic book that outlines a revolutionary uprising against a fascist regime in England. Now, why is this mask so important? In 2011, this mask became a symbol of protest in Egypt. It was used by a large number of youth. Thousands of people protested with this mask as their symbol against the government. Furthermore, this mask was also published on the front page of the Egyptian newspapers, and an anonymous group, a hacktivist group that's based in the USA, decided to use this mask as their symbol of protest. Ladies and gentlemen, this was just by one comic book writer. One comic book writer who wrote a story about a protagonist, about a man named in a mask, and this mask became a symbol of protest. When Kevin Systrom and Mike Krieger decided to create an app that would allow individuals to post pictures and have hashtags that would increase global connectivity, little did they realize that they led and formed a basis for the most important movements of our time today. Hashtag #FYourBeautyStandards. This is a body positivity campaign, and this was a result of the creation of Instagram. You can see 376,000 followers. Each and every single one of them are introduced to a completely new perspective on what is the real body type. This page questioned the ideal body types and eradicated body stereotypes. So as you can see, social media has become our platform for the freedom of expression and for protest. What I've gone through is a series of chain reactions. A series of chain reactions that are broad and that belong in various disciplines, in arts, in religion, in sciences, in the field of history and technology. It's so incredibly broad, but it is so incredibly significant to our lives. Each and every part of these innovations that we've had, we use it in our lives today. And I stand here today representing those individuals from the 21st century who are eager to show you all the capabilities of our minds, to create a revolution unlike any you've ever seen before by harnessing the strength, the knowledge of our ancestors, and synthesizing it with the knowledge of our own. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at a time where creativity is at its finest. The question is, how can you boost your creativity, and how can you cause a revolution? Lateral thinking is an approach in psychology where a person approaches to a problem or a situation through restructuring. So if you do see a problem, your mind looks at the problem and thinks otherwise. What is the other way? In other words, imagination is key to creativity. Every single person must realize that a lot of the innovations that we've had in our world today are a result of lateral thinking. They're a result of incredible imagination, of hypothetic, unrealistic thoughts. And as Pablo Picasso, one of my greatest inspirations, says, every child is an artist. The problem is how to remain one once we grow up. So, how does it happen? How do you let your creativity bubble? How do you let it grow? And I like to call this 3 steps to achieving your aha moment. Well, the first step is to break the barriers. Let go of the restrictions. Be proud of who you are and your thoughts. Be confident and do not be afraid. Break the barriers. And in order to let your ideas snuggle and to allow your ideas to incubate in your mind and allow them to comfortably snuggle in your brain, scientifically, you must spend more time alone and you must have more showers. According to scientists and psychologists, 72% of creative insights happen in the shower. So I'm guessing Bill Gates did have extremely long shower sessions. Toronto-based designer Andrew Vuko says, originality comes from making connections. Listen carefully. Originality comes from making connections, seeing patterns where others see chaos, taking old ideas and elevating them to new perspectives. It's a remix, a fresh pair of eyes. We are at a platform where global connectivity is at its finest, where globalization is at its finest, where we can connect to each and every person from the world. So take those ideas and synthesize it with your own. Jump outside the literal world and jump into the realm of irrationality. Each and every one of you has a world, has a universe that only you can think of, that only you can imagine. And your universe might just have something that we need in this world today. And lastly, ladies and gentlemen, is follow your intuition. We all must follow our intuition. You don't need qualifications to discover and to innovate. We are a world of diverse minds who are connected on a global level. The only barrier that's stopping you is yourself. Once you believe in yourself and are determined to execute your creative capabilities to the fullest, you will realize the power of your mind and you will start your own revolution. Thank you.